In this video, you will know how to create a tabulation in Excel. So we will use ATM example as a way to teach you how to create the simple tabulation and the cross tabulation. So for 50% observed using a local ATM machine, researchers have described the customers according to age category and the gender category. And both of them are nominal scaled variable. So the first, you are required to construct a simple tabulation in which the counts are according to the gender. The second, construct a cross tabulation using age and the gender as categorized recent variables. So how the researcher described the two variables, age and the gender, they used numbers. So for the age variable, if the person is under 30, they use value 1. If the person is aged between 30 to 60, they use value 2. So if the person is over 60, they use value 3. And for the gender variable, if the person is male, they use 1. If the person is female, they use 2. So now, let's look at the original data collected by the researcher. So if you download the file from the D2L, you need to download the Lab2 Excel file. So in this file, you should find one spreadsheet called Example 3 ATM. So you need to click that spreadsheet, that tab. So after you click the Example 3 ATM spreadsheet, you will find on this page, you have the two column data. So the first column is for the age. The second column is for the gender. As I mentioned before, how people use the number to define the people's age and their gender. So the first question is, how can we construct a simple tabulation in which the counts are according to gender? So obviously, for the first question, we only consider the second column. So the way to create the simple tabulation, you need to first find a tab called Insert. Click the Insert tab. After you clicked it, you will find a button called the Pivot Table. So you clicked it. So after you click the Pivot Table, you will have this kind of windows called Create a Pivot Table. So in the first section is choose the data that you want to analyze. It's equivalent to say, you need to tell Excel where is your original data. So in the first question, we only consider the second column data. So the first thing you need to do is click this little icon. After you clicked it, choose the value on the second column. So after you choose the value, click the icon again, this small icon. So now you go to the second section, choose where you want the pivotal table report to be placed. So I prefer to create a new worksheet, which means after you click OK, there is one more page we'll add in your Excel file. So you click OK. So now you are in the new page called Sheet 4. So on this page, you'll find this special area. It's called Pivotal Table List, Field List. And in this field, there is one field called Choose Field to add to report. And inside, you'll find gender. So that's what we are planning to analyze, and I'm trying to use the data from gender to create the simple tabulation. And then following this area, you will find the report filter. So you don't need to worry about this part. But look at here, you have the column labels and the row labels and the values. So you are caring about these three areas. So the first thing you need to do is move your mouse to the gender and choose it. So after you choose it and left click it and hold it and drag it to the column label. So after you drag it to the column label, and you will find on your left-hand side of the spreadsheet, it already help you to create a table. It looks like the simple tabulation, but actually it's not, because you can see the grand total is 72, which means the total number of people is 72. Obviously it's wrong, because we know the total number of the people is only 50. So what's wrong? It happened because here actually we only have 22 female, but they use 22 times 2, they got 44. So obviously here has something wrong. So how can you correct it? The way to correct it is, first you choose either 28 or 44. So after you choose the value, you right-click your mouse, and you will see these options, and you need to move your mouse to option set value field setting. So you clicked it. So after you clicked it, you will find the default setting is sum. You shouldn't choose this one, you should choose count. So check count. So after you check the check count, the background of the count will become as blue color. And then you click OK. So now you can see this table has already changed a little bit. So the value here is no longer 44 but 22, and the grand total is 50. So which means we have 28 male, 82 female, and total people customer are 50. So now you have created the simple so you have done to create the simple tabulation in which the count are according to gender. So next, how to construct a cross tabulation use age, gender as categorization variables. So the first is you still go back to check your original data. So now instead of just considering about gender, you consider both age and gender. So how can you construct this kind of cross tabulation? The way you do is, the first, you still need to click insert. And after you click insert, choose and click the button called the pivotal table again. So now something needs to change. The first change is the data range. So before we only consider the second column, but now we consider both first and second column. So now you choose the data. Click this little icon and select all the observations. So click icon again. And now you need to let the computer know where do you want to place your result. I prefer to choose a new worksheet. And click OK. So after you click OK, and you will see this area again. But the only difference is now we have one more variable entered. It's age cat. So you shouldn't feel surprised, because now we are considering two variables, age and gender. So first, move your mouse to age category. Left click it and hold it and drag it to the column labels. And then right click the gender and move it to the row labels. Now you will find on your Excel left hand side in the Excel field, you will see a table looks like the cross tabulation, right? But there is no number inside. So now you need to let the computer know what should put into the value area. So you can choose either age or gender, but not both. So let's say we choose age. So we move age into the value category, field. So release your mouse. Now you will find here something has already shown up in your table, but you can see the grand total is 95. It really is not it's not what you want. It should be grand total should be 50. So the Excel make the same default setting as the simple tabulation. So how can you edit it? So the way you edit it is you choose any value in the cell, left click it, so you choose it, and right click your mouse. There is there is some option show up. You again you move your mouse to value field setting. So as I mentioned before, the default setting is sum. Instead of choosing this, you should choose count. So after you choose the count and you click OK. So see, you found the grand total is 50. It's no longer 95. So there is one more step left. Is give the name for the column and row. So now they are just use the column label and the row label to name it. But as you know, it's not enough. And for the column label, the value can be 1, 2, 3, and you know it's for the age. So what you need to do is left click the column label, click this cell, and here you will find it's starting FX and some label. So you just delete it and choose them and click the delete in your keyboard, delete it, and type in the name of this column label is for age. And you do the same thing for the row label. So that is for the gender. So you select the name, delete it, and type gender into the cell. So now you finished to create the cross tabulation. So you can use this video to help you to work on the homework.